through um, build. So I'm level 80 now. Um, so yeah, as I was saying earlier, I was from the start, from leveling, I've been flurry. I didn't even try the twisting blade. I think it's the meta right now. It's good, but I just find flurry to be more enjoyable, to be honest. So that's why we're running the flurry build. Anyway, um, so on to my skills first. So yeah, so we're running the puncture as our basic attack, the enhanced puncture and fundamental. This would guarantee us the vulnerable debuff to the end to our enemies. So that's really like a multiplier for our damage once our enemies gets vulnerable. And then on to the core skills, of course, for flurry, enhanced flurry, and then now it's just something recently I'm trying, and so far I'm loving it. So before I was running this improved flurry, so the description: if flurry hits any vulnerable enemy, it will make all enemies hit by that cast vulnerable. So basically, when we hit one like a single target with our basic skills to make it vulnerable, we do our flurry with this enhancement, the improved flurry. It will make all of the mobs around that area vulnerable. So I'm just gonna quickly show it to you how that works.
Not in town.
Let's find some mobs. So here. So enemy is vulnerable. Once I hit the core skill, it makes the whole bit vulnerable. Let's do that again. Let's find some here. So I'll make one vulnerable. And then core skills, yep, let's see. All of them become vulnerable. So that's the enhanced flurry modifier, if you would call it. Okay. Now, as I said recently, I'm not using that one. Instead, I've been rocking the advanced flurry. So, invading through an enemy will cause your next flurry to stun enemies for 2.5 seconds. So, how does this work? So, initially, I didn't understand like evading through an enemy. So, it's like it's a conditional or like a chance. Because if you would evade, right? And then that's the time you would only like stun after you've done the flurry. But how it works really is we have our evade charge. So basically when you evade and then flurry, it will stun the whole mobs, all of the mobs that's been hit by your flurry. So I'll show that. So see, we have a mob here. If I will evade and then flurry, see, they've been stunned. Let me remove some of this so that you can actually see the mobs stunned. Oh, I got that. So evade, there. See, they've been stunned for quite a while. We can do it again. See, they've been stunned. Evade, flurry again. Evade, flurry. So yeah, stun. Yep. So yeah. So it's an additional CC or a crowd control for us, which is really nice, considering our the rogue class in itself is a bit squishy. So yeah, I've been rocking through that one, and I'll explain further how all of the skills would synergize together. So anyway, that's the flurry, and then on to our agility skills. So I've got, oh sorry, get the passive here, the sturdy, close damage reduction is always nice, and then the discipline strikes. This would guaranteed our flurry whenever we there's a critical strike damage, we would be getting a life back. So, yep. And then the agility skills, I'm ranking the shadow step, the enhanced shadow step, and then the methodical shadow step. So that's a guaranteed stun for 2 seconds. And then we've got the rug for a 5% damage reduction DOT. And then this one was just maxing this one was lately really finding it hard, especially if once I'm stunned, I'm frozen, and immobilized. So this helps a bit for us to survive that, even for 1 second that we're being controlled. So at least we can survive. And then I've got this concussive passive. 3 points on that, 1 point on the rapid gambits, trick attacks. So how this works is whenever we knock down or knock back an enemy, our critical strike chance has been increased by 12%. And then the trick attacks, whenever we critically strike a dazed enemy, we knock them down, and then once we knock them down, this would proc. So they synergize very much. And then this one, rapid gambit, so your evade cooldown is reduced by 0.5 seconds when you daze an enemy. So the daze, that's another like modifier. So I will just say here, description for daze enemies cannot attack or use skills but are still able to. So again, I'll explain further the synergies. So that's with the daze. So basically, if the enemies are dazed and then we attack them, no, sorry, whenever we daze an enemy, there we go, our evade cooldown has been reduced by 0.5 seconds. Actually, you could rock this for 1 second or even 1.5, but for now, this would do. I think I don't have problems with it for now. That's that. And then 3 points on the weapon mastery. So we're rocking both dagger and sword, so we have 15% increase damage to healthy enemies and then 9% increase damage in total. And then off to the subterfuge skills. So I'm still rocking the Dark Shroud. This is only a level 1 skill. Because of the items, it increased to for rank 4 ranks, so that's why we have a damage reduction. So the base, what's that? The base is I think 8. 8, yeah, damage reduction of 8% per active shadow, and once we activate our shadow, that's 5. So we basically have 40% damage reduction just with this alone. And of course, each enemy hit, our shadow would be consumed, so damage reduction will be less and less as we go. But it's still a nice one to have. And then so I have the item, that's why its rank is 4. So we got 9.2 per stack. And then I got the enhanced dark shroud. Not rocking too much about this, but this one, this is highly contestable. Whenever I'm speed running, if you call it, I think I'm rocking this one to give. No, sorry, not speed running. If I feel like the mobs are too hard for me to burst, so that's why I'm rocking the Countering Dark Shroud, so it'll give me an 8% more critical strike chance. So my critical strike chance for now is not that high. I think I'm rocking 29%, so that's plus 8, that's 37. I'm hoping to increase this to at least 40, 35, 40. I think I'll be happy with that. But for now, that's why I'm using the Countering Dark Shroud just for the extra 8%. And then this one, it is personally my favorite because this would give us more move speed for each Dark Shroud. So again, there's 5, so we get an extra 20% move speed just by this alone. So move speed is always nice in this game. And then onto our trap. Poison trap is really nice. This would guarantee us control for the mobs. If you feel like you've been trapped, you can drop this one, and then all of the mobs, even elites, would be knocked down. So it'll give you that few seconds, I think 2 seconds control. And then I get the enhanced poison trap, so yeah, for 1.5 seconds they'll be knocked down, the enemies will be knocked down for 1.5 seconds. And then before, I was choosing this countering poison trap so that I have 30% chance to reset my imbuement, but for now I don't think I'll be needing this much, because I think whenever we do like our one combo or when attacking mobs, sometimes we don't even need to cast imbuement again. So I don't think this would do me much for now. So that's why I'm choosing the other passive, which is an increase of 10% for enemies standing on our poison trap. And then just going back to the poison trap, when we knock down enemies, this will trigger. So enemies that's been knocked down, another increase of 12% critical strike chance against them. So our critical strike chance is stacking, if you would call it. So this is always good to have. And then some passives exploit. This one, increase damage to healthy and injured enemies. So healthy enemies that has 80% of their life, more than 80%, they are considered healthy, and then injured less than 35%. So it's like a full, let's say 100% health bar. When we attack them, we got 24% increased damage to healthy enemies, and then once we reach the threshold of less than 35%, we also have an additional 24% increased damage because they are considered injured again. So we have both of this modifier, so which is really good. And then malice, 9% increased damage to vulnerable enemies. So most of the time, 100% of the time, our enemies are gonna be vulnerable. So it's a nice multiplier. And then imbuement skills, of course, we're rocking the poison, so I only got one skill on that one. Enhance poison just to increase the duration for about 1 second, and then the blended poison, it's 95% increase poison damage. So nothing much to say about that one. And then just the passive, the venom. I've maxed that out, so that's 9% increase poison damage, and debilitating toxins 50. So this also helps us mitigate some damage. So enemies that has been poisoned, they do less damage to us. Apart from those other damage reductions we have from the Dark Shroud, from this one, the Sturdy, Rapid Defense, and yeah, so they all stack up. And then on the ultimate, I didn't get any ultimate skills. Before, I was really loving the Shadow Clone, but because of the build and I think overall gameplay, I find it more smooth and more more enjoyable without this one. I mean, this is fun. Don't get me wrong. This is fun. It's gives ton of damage, but just how the build is set up now, I won't be needing this one. So just for the passive, max out innervation just to increase our lucky hit. Our lucky hit, by the way, is it's a new what do you call that? It's similar to your critical chance, but it's like you need to roll the dice twice. So unlike with your critical chance, you only have let's say this one. No, so here. So I got 29%. So out of 100 strikes, I only have 29 instances that it's a critical strike, right? With lucky hit, out of 100, let's say I have 50% lucky hit chance. So out of 100, I have 50%, 50 instances that a lucky hit would occur. But lucky hit then, the effect doesn't work immediately. Instead, it will roll again. So out of the 50, it will roll again before those lucky hit modifiers or effect would show up. So like this one, lucky hit up to 5% chance to heal. So if I attack out of 100, just given the 5%, so there's only 5% chance of me to proc the lucky hit, and then it will roll another 5% for me to have that heal chance to heal. So, but because of how our gear is set up, like almost guaranteed, like 50% of the time, so we hit fast with our build, yeah. And other passive adrenaline rush, just to gain additional regen. Not that much. I'm only after with the haste. So while at or above 50% maximum energy, we gain 15% increased move speed, and then if we're below that, our attack speed increases. So this is our energy. So whenever it's 50% above, we get the move speed. If it's below, we get attack speed. So both of those conditions benefit us, which is good. And then lastly, our key passives. I've got the close quarter combats, so damaging a close enemy with marksman or cutthroat skills increases our attack speed by 10%. And if we have both, we get a 20% increased damage against crowd controlled enemies. So just going to sum up how the build works. So basically, when I hit with my basic skill, they become vulnerable. Okay, once they become vulnerable, I hit them with flurry, and then if I evade going before I flurry, they be stunned and they become crowd controlled, right? So this would proc. But before that, you can easily proc the close quarters combat. So if I hit with puncture, we already got the what's that? This one. That's one of the condition. We get increase 10% because this is our basic and this is our this is our marksman skill. This is our cutthroat. So let's find an enemy. If I do that and then the close quarter. Oh, what's that? Sorry, wrong representation.
I need more time.
And then yeah. So once I have both of them, so see, we have the increased damage versus crowd control. So that's our close quarter combats key passives, which is again almost 100% uptime. So it's always nice to have. Before, if you feel well, I did feel I'm not surviving much, so I didn't choose the close quarter combats. I was rocking momentum. Momentum is also a good free passive. It gives you more survivability, to be honest, and it's much more fluid, so which is good. But damage wise, close quarter combats is good. So yeah, that's our skills. Then onto my gear and aspects. So for the helm, it's not yet a perfect roll, but basically I have the helm of might just to give extra damage reduction whenever we hit with our basic skills. Then our armor, we get the cheats aspect. So whenever we crowd control enemies, we take less damage from them. Another damage reduction. And then onto the gloves, we got our flurry. This is the reason why our flurry hits in 360, 360-degree direction. Before, if you don't have this aspect, it will only hit in the front. So it doesn't do the whole area. But because of this aspect, do the whole 360 degrees. And then onto the pants, we got this disobedience. We gain extra armor the more that we do damage, any form of damage, which is nice. And then onto the boots, we get the Ravagers, which gives our Shadow Step an extra charge. So we got two charges, so we could go in and out if we have enemies. Because this is what's this? It's a targeted skill. You can't cast this if there's no enemy or there's no target. And then amulet, I got the Mangler's aspect, um, which makes the vulnerable enemy dazed. So this is what I was talking about earlier. Because we make enemies vulnerable almost all of the time, most of the time. Because in this aspect, so now we only have 44% chance to daze the enemy. So all vulnerable enemies, when we damage them, and then let's say do the flurry, those vulnerable, we have a chance to make them daze. And then when we daze the enemies, we proc this as well. So there's so much synergies to be honest, so which is really nice. And then daze again, it makes the enemies it's like they're disarmed. They can't attack. They can still move, but they can't attack. So that's our amulet, and then our ring. We are rocking the basic skill, the expect. Look at the expect. So that's the increased damage whenever we hit. With our basic skill before casting our core skill. So this synergizes with our specialization, which is the combo points. So every 3, once this is filled, we have extra like damage or bonus. Or for the flurry, if I don't put combo points, I'll just quickly show it to you. So flurry is just flat up damage. So you see it's from 12 to 14k damage. But with the combo points, there's an added modifier. So see, combo points increase damage and grant attack speed bonus. So for 1 point, 15 to 18k, 2 points, 18 to 22, and 3 points, 21 to 25, and then additionally the attack speed bonus on top of that. So whenever we fill it, our combo points plus before we do the flurry, that's when we get our full bonus. And then it works well with this ring because when we cast basic skill first, we will stack it up until plus 30% before we hit. So additional damage. And then our last is Edgemaster. Skills good. It's increased in skill damage based on your available primary resource. For now, I'm still having problem with keeping up my energy like high or almost full of the most of the time. because of the stats, my items. But hopefully we'll get those so that we won't be having problem. For now, I don't have that much problem, but sometimes I do run out of energy, so I have to run around for a few seconds, stack up with my basic skills. So yeah, and then for our weapon, so for my crossbow, always get a crossbow. The very reason, because of the vulnerable damage, we are guaranteed vulnerable damage, because that's the innate stats of the crossbow. So I get 60% vulnerable damage. And then the aspect here. So this is where I deviate from the usual flurry build. So I'm rocking the retribution aspect. So this that enemies have 8% chance to be stunned for 2 seconds when they hit you. That's not much. It's a really like RNG. 8%. It's nothing. But it's the next line. Yeah, you deal 80% increased damage to stun enemies. So again, because of the build, my flurry, because we stun enemies, we have 80% more damage today. On top of the vulnerable status, not even counting the critical strike, so those modifiers. So it stacks up. So that's really nice. And then for our sword, we got the imbuement. Still looking for another type of aspect, but for now, this will do. It's nice, especially for boss, because it'll increase our like the potency of our poison imbuement, which is good, and our unique condemnation. Again, this really syncs or synergizes very much with our specialization, the combo points. So yeah, it's good. Oh, don't forget some of the stats. Just quickly run over. I was prioritizing like attack speed and a few armor. You see, got armor, attack speed. This one attack speed, and this one some damage reduction. This one I need to find a better boot, to be honest. The poison resistance could have changed it to another damage reduction or even attack speed, and this one the flat movement speed, not the movement speed after killing an elite. I would love just the flat movement speed. And then the all stats in int, I could have just chose one and then change it to another stat, to be honest, but for now this would do. And then here on our crossbow, yeah, this is fine, I think. Apart from, I would love to change the critical strike damage with imbued with just a flat critical damage, and then the lucky hit to I think critical strike chance again, just for just a flat out flat damage. And the amulet, I think we're okay with this. Cooldown reduction, it's contestable. I would probably try the energy reduction, cost of energy, but this is okay for now. This one, yep, again, the life regeneration, would have loved to change it with just the critical strike damage. And the overpower, we don't need that, but I was choosing, I think, because I rerolled cold damage or damage to shield enemies, so that's why I rolled that one to a critical strike chance, and then the overpower I just left it because it's a perfect roll anyway, so I just leave that one out. And then the other one, this is fine, it's good for me. And the blade, yeah. And then just quickly with our paragon board, so so this is our starting board. Pathing on the right side, we get the Rare Node Prime. all over here. So honestly, I'm gonna change this one. I think I forgot. I was thinking of probably putting either this diminish, or was it the B? Yeah. So either the bane or diminish on this glyph socket for now. To be honest, I've totally forgot why I rocked the tracker. I might change it now. Let's see. I think, yeah. While we're at it, let's see. Yeah. I think this is the one. Yeah, that is the one. I think you can rock this one with either closer. You can do the full dex here, but because of how I set it up earlier, I think I just left up the closer here. So yeah, we can do the combat. Just an increased critical strike damage, but to be honest, I really forgot why I rocked tracker initially. I must have thought of another like build. Oh, diminish in itself is good, but because you can't rock it. Wait. Hold on. Let's try to change this one. Stick that thing to. Anyway, I'll fix that one later. Yeah, I remember now. I rocked the ball, but because of this energy cost, we'll do this one later on. Oh, you know what? Let's rock this one. More. That's fine too. Yeah, this would do for now. Okay, yeah. So that's the combat. I'm sorry about that. And then on to the next paragon board. The exploit weakness board, because I'm after the unsaleable, the exploit, rare node, and the artifice. So I was pathing from here. So I got this first. And then you can path here onto your artifice. And then you can unlock the glyph. get all the necessary decks so that our closer glyph could be activated for the extra, for the additional bonus. And then after I've like unlocked this area, I path to the left for the tricks of the trade board. So I path here first and then went down for the brawler. So this is for the close enemies modifier. So 12% increased damage and then 4.5% damage reduction from close enemies. And then if you have more strength, you could even have an additional 12% damage, but for now, that's fine. And then after this, we could path then from this board continuing onto the side to the hunter killer. So this board, the exploit weakness has very good rare loads, to be honest. It's really nice. So got the hunter killer and then onto we connect with our next paragon board, which is the no witness. So we get the ruin. This is a additional modifier for our damage against healthy enemies, so that's good as well. And then we unlock this glyph socket again, and then I think that's the time I got the exploit glyph, so that we make all of our attacks makes the enemies vulnerable for 3 seconds, and that's also the reason why I chose I change from the improved to advanced, because we got an additional crowd control because of the exploit glyphs. So yeah, so far I'm loving my build. And leveling wise, to be honest, before you reach 50, you don't have access to paragon. So leveling, to be honest, there's not much deviation from like, my end. So I'm still rocking the puncture to the flurry. Here you might be able to get dash as an extra mobility skill, and then you might omit dark shroud. You can still get poison trap, and then here you can even skip. But me personally, I still get the shadow step. I still got the dark shroud. Instead of the poison trap, I skip this one. And instead of the poison imbuement, I get the shadow imbuement. This would really melt. It makes your dungeon run or sorry, campaign, you speed through mobs because of this shadow imbuement. It's a nice modifier because it makes the enemies explode after a few seconds. So that's a good thing to have, and you can have the shadow flow in line with the shadow imbuement, or you could rock with the death trap, whichever you will, depending on your preference and momentum. Like I said before, survivability. And then once you get to level 50, I think that's the time. Then you try to, let's say, really path what you're aiming or what you want your build to be, because once you start the paragon, I mean the first board it's not so much, like you can change anytime. I mean even now, but because it takes time, to be honest, it takes time. It takes a lot of gold. I think I've spent almost, I think just 30 just by trying to change the board, see like how the damage is and how my survivability is. So then I came up with this. So for now, so far so good. So we might be tweaking this build again, but we'll see how it goes. But for now, let's just start to level up. Still level 80. We got 20 levels to go. more paragon boards to unlock, more nodes, magic and rare nodes to unlock. So yeah, that's how the build is, and we can actually rock. Let's do a level 33. Let's see. Let's do a level 33 dungeon for now. And hopefully we don't die. Else it's gonna be a laughing stock. Hopefully we don't die.
I need more time. Time to do that. I need more time. Time to do that. I need more time. I need time to do that.
how the build is. So far, so good.